Okay, I don't know what I'm doing with this video. This is a really serious video and I'm not used to making super serious videos, but I feel like this is something that should probably be talked about, spread awareness. I was talking with my cousin while I was visiting her on my little girls trip, which was super fun, super needed. I had such a great time. It was so fun. But I was talking with her and she was telling me that I need to spread awareness about what I have. And I've talked about it a little bit because last year I was going through a lot of health issues. I'm still going through health issues, but I'm like in the recovery process, I guess you could say. I have AS, also known as Ankylosing Spondylitis. It is really hard to pronounce for some reason. A lot of the nurses that I have seen and talked with also struggle with pronouncing it, so it makes me feel a little bit better about fumbling over my words every time I try to say it, because it's such a weird word, and just like weird to pronounce. But anyway, if you don't know what that is, it is a form of arthritis that is very extreme and intense. I have a severe case of it. Usually it affects the spine, and what it does is it causes the joints to kind of fuse together. And yeah, as you might be able to tell, it is really painful. Luckily it's not in my spine yet, knocking on wood. It is in my knees, my ankles, my elbows. My hands have recently been affected. I don't know if you can, this one you can really see. Yeah, and some of my fingers, I can't wear rings anymore because my fingers are swollen and affected, and this is like the only ring that fits any of my fingers, and this is the only finger that like fits or like isn't super swollen. But yeah, it's everywhere and it can affect your eyes. As far as I know, I don't have it in my eyes. I just have bad eyesight because I don't know. Both my parents wear glasses. Both my grandparents wear glasses. Like almost everyone in my family is blind, so it's kind of like not that worried about it, but like I don't think it can also affect your jaw. And like my jaw gets stiff sometimes and it affects the neck. I already said the spine, your hips. For those of you who do know, I had hip surgery. I have had issues with my hips. This can affect hips. It can affect pretty much any joint, any major joint, and it is affecting almost all of my major joints except for my spine, which I don't know how. My doctor doesn't even know how that hasn't been hit yet, but I am counting my lucky stars and I am so thankful that my spine works. I do try to still do little workouts and stay active and protect my spine the best that I can. It is hard sometimes though, because like I said, I'm still recovering, so I can't do full intense workouts like I was doing before all this really like hit. I got diagnosed in 2022, I believe. It was like the end of 2022. I started my workout journey in the end of 2023. Like literally the last week of 2023 was when I started my fitness journey, and I carried that out all the way through up until February of 2025. I didn't have my medication. I couldn't get a hold of it because of insurance reasons, and I was starting to have a flare-up, and it causes severe inflammation, and it was in all my joints, and every joint that's affected started to swell up, and it got harder and harder to move. We tested a couple different medications. They put me on steroids to help, but that was always meant to be temporary. That was never meant to be a permanent solution. It's just kind of putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. What's the saying? You get what I'm saying. But yeah, the steroid helped a lot, actually. I was able to, walk and continue doing my daily activities. And then I lost my grandma, who I was very, very close with. I did make a video about that when I came back, because I kind of disappeared for a little bit and then I popped back up. I do remember talking about it. I'm still grieving that loss. She took care of me. She made sure that I was good. She kept me fed, clean, kept a roof over my head, helped my parents keep a roof over my head, keep me and my brother fed, and she was my best friend. Deep down, with everything, she was always my best friend, and she's gone. I did not think that I would get emotional talking about it, but it still hits really hard some days. And not a lot of people know the grief of losing someone super important yet. I was in a relationship, and he didn't know. He didn't understand that loss because he himself had never gone through it, and he was overall just more worried about my health than anything else. And the thing about grief is there's no one road. It affects everyone differently, literally. Everyone handles it their own way, and no one is going to have the same way of grief that you do. And no one has a time limit for how long grief lasts. My mom was also super close with her grandma, my great grandma. I called her Gigi, and when she passed away, when I was I think I was 10 when she passed away, that was my mom's best friend. And I asked her recently if it ever got better, and she said that she still cries about losing her. And there is no set time for when you will be okay again, but there are going to be days where it is easier. Sorry, I have a hair. Okay, my hair is sticking out. And I'm still learning to accept that she's gone. I'm still kind of in denial a little bit. I know she's not coming back, but a part of me thinks maybe I could just go to her house and she'll be there, but she won't. And that sucks. Ugh. I really hate crying, but I can't help it. My dad always says that crying is healing the soul, and I really like that saying. I really like it. It just makes me feel better. But yeah, so I lost my grandma, and that was really hard. it was really hard. And I was having issues with family. I'm not gonna get into that because it's personal, but I was struggling with family stuff, and I lost my grandma, and my health got a whole lot worse. I had my hip surgery, and then it just went down really fast, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get out of bed. Anytime I was moved, I quite literally had to be carried or dragged. It was not fun, and every second of every day hurt. And I couldn't think about the grief. I couldn't focus on what I had just lost at all because I had to be in survival mode 24/7. Even when I was sleeping, I had to be in survival. And I couldn't eat. I wasn't drinking enough. I wasn't doing anything. And I ended up going to the ER. They thought I was having a heart attack. So they like rushed me back in there because my heart rate was super high. And luckily I wasn't having a heart attack, which I knew I wasn't having a heart attack. I feel like that's something you know is happening to you if it happens. But my grandpa, he had heart issues. So I was like, oh no, like I was getting like worried of like, oh no, am I gonna like, is my heart giving out? Because they think I'm having a heart attack, and like maybe. So I was like scared, and that was stressing me out, which was probably causing my heart rate to go up even more, and like it was just not good. And I got admitted. I asked them if I could stay because to get into rehab, my insurance needed me to stay at the hospital for a certain amount of days to show that I needed help. So I ended up staying. They were only going to keep me there for 3 days, but it took about a week for them to find a rehab facility for me to go to. So I ended up staying at the hospital longer than anyone thought. But I got better because they had medicine, and like the doctor at the ER at first didn't want to keep me overnight. He wanted to send me home because he was like, I can't fix your issues. I can only give you a little bit of medicine that'll temporarily help, but you need to like see your actual doctor, which I had an appointment that was like at that point a week away. And he was wanting to just kind of send me home, but because I had asked about rehab, he was like, no, we can do this. But I had to like ask to stay. And so I did. And they gave me fluids, and they gave me transfusions, which were not fun at all. And they actually kind of hurt a lot. Like my hand ended up swelling up really bad because the vein got irritated from the potassium transfusion that they gave me. It really hurt. It stung a lot. And then I ended up going into rehab in like January 2nd of this year. And the people there were amazing. The people at the hospital and at the rehab place were amazing. They were all so nice, so kind. My therapists in rehab were just like the sweetest. They were my favorite. I miss them so much, actually. I loved them so much. I miss them dearly. I might actually go try to visit them once I get better. Just to see how they're doing. But yeah, there were quite a few people at both the hospital and rehab that told me that I needed to use my voice and speak out, and so that's kind of what I'm doing. My cousin also was like, you should do this. So I guess I'm taking the advice from all these people that told me that I need to share my voice, spread awareness, and that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna use this channel to spread awareness. I'm still gonna talk about books because, let's be real, I can't make a YouTube channel and not talk about books. So like, there's still gonna be book content, but there's also going to be like heavier content. So if you're into that, good. If not, I'm sorry. But I do think that it is important to spread awareness. I'm not entirely sure how to go about it, so I'm gonna be trying to figure it out. I don't feel comfortable filming me when I'm in very painful, vulnerable situations, but I will talk about them. If I have pictures, if I take pictures and like document certain things, I'll share those. But when I have a flare-up and it gets bad, it gets really bad, and it's kind of a little traumatizing to go through some of the things that I went through. So I don't think I'm gonna be filming those. Also, there's just some things that like you just cannot share, that I'm not willing to share. So yeah, I think most of it is just gonna be me talking about experiences, stories. Yeah, having a disability is not something to romanticize. Having chronic pain is not something that should be romanticized. I don't understand why everyone is romanticizing quite literally everything, because some things just are not romantic and shouldn't be forced to be romantic or be put in this romantic box. Yeah, I forgot to mention, I also ended up getting broken up with. We were engaged December of 2024. We got engaged, and then January 16th of this year, we broke up. So yeah, I'm not gonna go into details about that. Privacy, personal reasons, and to respect him, I'm not gonna talk about it, but we no longer, so I'm single again, trying to get back the life I once had. I am doing a lot better. My sense of humor is starting to come back. My personality is coming back a little bit. That girls trip helped so much. I think I'm gonna go on another one soon. By soon, I mean maybe like a month or two. But yeah, I mean, I miss my cousin and hanging out with the girls, because all my girlfriends are up there with my cousin. Oh, excuse me, with my cousin 2 hours away from me. So I'm like, maybe I could go again. Yeah, I ended up getting concert tickets for May, so I know I'm gonna be seeing my cousin for that, because I got her and I tickets for our favorite band, Dance Gavin Dance. Well, my favorite band. It's not her favorite, but she likes them too. So we're gonna go see them, and we're both so excited about it. And I ended up getting the seats instead of the mosh pit because I'm still recovering. There's no way that I can do a mosh pit, so we're doing seats. I think going to the concert's going to wipe me out, but because I'll be sitting, I'll be okay. Yeah, it's also just good knowing your limits, knowing what you can and can't do. I've very, very slowly started to kind of get back into working out. I was doing it pretty much every single day for an hour, and then I would do like a 30-minute walk. on top of all that. I'm not doing that yet. I'm doing like 5 to 10 minutes of like arms or legs or core, and then calling it good for the day, because I just physically cannot do any more than that right now. But eventually, as I get better, it'll go up. So yeah, that's it for this video. I got more emotional than I thought I would, but I just wanted to come on here and be like, hey, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. I have a poetry book that I read and finished that I might talk about because it was really good. I've reread If He Had Been With Me. I don't think I'm gonna make a video on that because I feel like I've already talked about that book, but who knows, I might make another one. I'm currently rereading Twilight because I want to read all of them back to back and then do a video on that. I'm also still currently buddy reading Her Soul for Revenge. We're almost halfway through that one, so I will be talking about that book once it's finished, but we're kind of going through that one really slowly, so I'm not sure when that video is getting out, but that is something you can look forward to. My reading goal this year is just 10 books. I read 15 last year. I'm hoping to read 10 this year. I would love to read 20 though, like low-key, that's kind of my goal, is 20, but I'm gonna play it safe and say 10. I think that's doable. I've already read 3, so I think I can do 10. I think I can do 10. I think that's doable. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for this video. I just keep rambling. I got so much to say. Yeah, okay, that's it. Bye.